Hello guys, welcome back to Callyalater Podcast, episode number 29. My name is John.
And I'm Kelly. Hi guys. We are college students and we are going to be talking all about how to shoot your shot. If you're interested in someone, basically like how to get their number,
Snapchat, like, anything. How to make the move.
How to make the move.
How to
make it happen.
How to slide in.
And you don't have to be a boy to slide in. You can be a girl to slide into the DMs. There's nothing wrong with that.
We're both perspectives today.
Yeah, you're going to get the boys' point of view. You're going to get the girls' point of view. We're college students. We're going to share all the hot tips with you guys. Last week we talked all about routines. If you guys want to check it out, we shared our routine, tips and tricks on getting into a routine, the importance of it. So
everything routine.
Yeah. So if you want to listen to that, it's really helpful. It's it's a lot of structured information, which I think is nice. So if you guys want to check that out, go check it out.
It's our
last episode.
It's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, everywhere. 28. It should be wherever you're listening. It should be right next to this one. Yeah.
But like I said, we're going to be talking about how to shoot your shots. Yeah. So sign someone likes you, again, boy and girl point of view, how to reach out and connect with them, how to keep the conversation going, and what to do if you or they are not interested.
Okay.
So
all the hot tips.
As a disclaimer for this video, because I
haven't heard the disclaimer yet. I'm excited to hear it.
Always be kind.
Oh, I did hear that one. Yeah, always be kind.
It's so important that, like, if you're not interested in someone, just be nice to them.
Treat people with kindness.
Exactly. Harry Styles reference. I corrupted you.
Yes, you have.
But basically, like, treat people the way you want to be treated.
Yeah.
It's really a lot shooting your shot because it's like putting your heart out there and someone can just be like, no. And it's like, sure, you have to be blunt about it, but it does hurt. So I have like a little bit of respect for the people.
Yeah.
Like, that was really brave of you. So
you gotta shoot your shot. You gotta get used to rejection.
And then I think another one is important is the answer is always no. Unless you ask. So you might like someone and you're like, oh no, they would never like me. And they might like you.
Totally me with her.
You have to try. You have to put yourself out there. All right. So let's get into the signs someone likes you. So you have the boys' point of view, and I have the girls' point of view.
Absolutely.
Should we go back and forth? Should we go down the list?
Let's go back and forth. I have 5.
I have 8.
Okay, you want to start us off then?
Okay,
and we'll just kind of alternate. You'll have one left over at the end.
So my first one, and I think this is a really big one, these are in no particular order, is they will look at you a lot if they're interested. Okay. Like, boys just...
They stare. They linger.
But, like, girls do it too. But I think boys, it's, like, a little bit more obvious. Like, if they find you cute, they're just going to stare at you. And they're going to be like, wow, she does that so cute. Wow, she looks so good doing that. And just stare at you. It kind of can be creepy, but it's not creepy. It's, like, flattering.
If they do it in the right way, it can be flirty.
Exactly. It's not, like,
don't give them the...
Yeah, no. There's, like, other signs that play a part into it. But you'll just... Again, it's one of those things... You'll know if someone likes you. And if you question if they like you, they might not like you. Yeah. But you have to go through a lot of this stuff to figure that out. Yeah. That's kind of a better tip for when you're talking to someone.
Yeah, agreed.
So we'll talk on that later on. So that's my note. Like, one of my signs is they will look at you a lot. You'll catch them keeping eye contact, or, like, they'll, like, do the little glance and then look away when you look at them, they'll, like, look away really quick.
Definitely. Yeah. So my number 1 is they talk to you a lot.
Yes, this goes both ways.
If a girl talks to you a lot, they probably are slightly interested. Yeah. Even if they're just a friend, it might not be just a friend. Usually if they're pretty cold and closed off, you know you don't have much of a shot. But, like, especially after the first time you talk to them, they'll start getting more chatty and will talk more with you.
Which that's always been one of my downfalls, is because I'm such a chatty person that people, like, just assume that I'm, like, oh, she's so into me. And I'm just like, no, I just talk a lot with a lot of people. So it really does depend, but that is a good tip.
You have to be careful with all of these tips that we're sharing because it could just be false signals. It's very possible, but it's just, if you see these, it's more likely that they might be interested.
And again, every situation is so different because everyone else is different.
Yeah, absolutely.
No one's the same.
No, you're completely right.
So my next one is there will be lots of flirting.
Ooh.
And then I wrote in parentheses, winky face. So it can be as simple as, like, teasing, playfulness, like, all that kind of stuff. I talk about that a little bit more in later tips and stuff. But you know flirting. You know, it's like, we can do a whole episode on that, but there's basic flirting involved. Yeah. Things you wouldn't just say to a friend.
Eye contact, certain things that you would say. Like you said, little touching here and there.
Oh my gosh, you're so
exactly.
funny.
Yeah. No,
that's a big one.
That's huge. Yeah.
Okay. Next one.
They might get a little nervous or seem nervous when they talk to you. They might not like shake or anything, but you might notice they might stumble over their words, or especially if they're really, really interested, they might get a little nervous when talking to you.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that. My third one, and this is the biggest one out of all of mine, is body language.
Ooh, that's my number 3 too.
That's so creepy.
Yep.
Basically, like, if you're next to someone, they're going to always have an open body language towards you. So their body language is going to be very open towards you. They're not going to be crossing their arms. It's going to be like this. Yeah. They more than likely won't cross their legs around you because they'll be facing you. Another one is they'll laugh when you laugh.
Yeah.
If a boy or a girl tells you a joke,
they'll laugh at it.
They'll laugh at your jokes, but if they tell a joke and say you're in a group, they'll look at you first to see if you laugh at their joke to find them funny. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they want to like see if their funniness impresses you and stuff like that. When you're sitting or standing, their feet are facing towards you.
Oh, I like that.
That's a big one.
Yeah, definitely. Body language is huge.
It's huge. Like, I just love watching people's body language. It sounds so creepy, but it's so interesting. They smile at you. A lot of times guys don't smile with their teeth. So if they smile with their teeth, it's like a sign that they're like, she's cute. They'll fix their clothes. So like if they're wearing a tie, they kind of like what is that word? Fiddle with it. Fiddle. Yeah. Or like a hat, they'll kind of readjust it multiple times. What's another one? Like shoes, they'll kind of fuss with their shoelaces, just like anything like that. If they're wearing jewelry, they kind of like play around with it.
They make sure it's perfect.
Exactly. Hair is a big one. They'll like kind of girls.
You're just stealing all my number 3s.
Guys will like make sure their hair is in place. And another one is they'll be nervous with you, and then also when you're talking with them, they kind of lean in a little bit.
They get close. It's
an excuse to get close to you.
They'll get in your bubble.
Sorry, I hope I didn't take all of them.
You stole a lot of mine.
Those are the big ones.
Yeah. So mine was body language as well. I believe the term's called preening, especially for girls, where you kind of just fix yourself up. Yeah. Like, girls will twirl their hair, they'll fix their hair, they'll flip their hair. The hair flip is huge. But the hair flip is one of the hugest things. If they flip their hair, they're most likely interested.
Who knew?
Batting their eyes.
That's a big one.
That's a big one, and it really is just if you fix yourself, if you fiddle, if you fidget, it's a sign of nervousness, but it's also a sign of interested body language.
Yes, definitely. Do you have any more on that?
No, those are my big. You hit on a lot of the points.
Another one that I didn't mention is your eyes can dilate.
Ooh.
So the black pupil in your eye, when you stare at someone that you're interested in, typically it gets bigger because you find them attractive, which is really.
You want to take in more of them?
It's really creepy, but it's really fun to watch, especially like if you're already kind of talking, like in a relationship, you can like make long eye contact and you can see if it does it.
Nifty.
But be careful because if you're in a dark setting, your eyes dilate anyways. I've been on a date before. This is TMI. But I was like, oh my god, his eyes are so creepy. But it was really because it was just dark and their eyes were adjusting. And I was just like, ooh. Okay, anyways. Next one. That was TMI, but it's fine. My number 4 is tries to and will talk to you a lot. And if they aren't able to, they will find ways to talk to you. It can be about like, the weather is nice out today.
No, wow. How about that weather we have? What about that airplane food?
If you're in a group chat, they'll like tag you or like call you out in the group chat.
Oh.
They will text you like, hey, what kind of homework do we have? Even if they know what the homework is. It's just a way to make conversation.
They're sneaky. Boys are sneaky.
They will do anything to talk to you.
I did that with you, kind of, to slide in. But we'll share our story someday.
Our story will come out eventually.
So then mine was... you will catch them glancing at you. You kind of already hit on this one.
Eye contact.
But as opposed to more staring, I've noticed with girls, it's kind of, they glance and look away if you make eye contact.
Oh,
they
definitely.
look away. If you catch them looking away.
It's that subtle, like,
oh,
oops.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah.
I feel like you have to watch this one on YouTube because we've given so many different visual cues.
If you watch it, it's more enjoyable.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so my next one is he will remember the weirdest and tiniest things you tell him.
Okay.
I think you did this. Like, I was like, oh, I love going ice skating. And then you were like, do you want to go ice skating?
I did. Like, that's how I slid in for the first date.
Right. And so, like, it's like small little things. They'll remember your favorite color. Most times, like, they might remember your birthday. They'll remember if you tell them a weird story about your aunt's dog. Like, it's that weird, but they will remember it because they're interested in you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You're completely right. And then my number 5 was they prioritize being with you / talking to you first. Especially like you said in a group setting, if you're in a group with them, they will make eye contact. They will try to be next to you.
Next to you. Yep.
I did that.
Yeah.
You will try and do whatever you can to be right next to them, to talk to them. They'll start a conversation about the stupidest thing, like you said. How's the weather outside today?
It's a bit chilly out. Okay, my next one is they will compliment you a lot.
Okay.
And girls will do this too. I should have put this into like my reach out. Remind me for the next category. Okay. This is a big one. But they will compliment you on the smallest things, and a lot of times it won't be on things that you can change. It'll be like, your eyes are really pretty. Oh. It'll be a compliment about you. That's
the best way to do it.
Because that's like they like you, not what you're wearing, all that kind of stuff. Another one is, are you out of these?
Yeah, okay. I'm tapped.
Another one is they will be very playful around you. Like teasing, playful, the fake, oh my god, like punches and stuff. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Like it's that playful energy because they want you to like them.
Yeah.
Another one is the end one. They will hopefully get some point of contact. They'll be like, a lot of times guys will be like, are you single? Or like they'll be like, do you have a boyfriend? And then if you say no, they're like, can I have your number? Like sometimes they're very forward about it.
Some boys are direct about it. Some of them are more wishy-washy though.
In the next category, I'll talk more about how people will reach out to get numbers, but a lot of times it ends with them asking for your number or some way to connect. And usually that's kind of a sign if they like you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times guys won't ask for it if they're not interested.
Agreed.
Okay, so going into how to reach out and connect with them.
How to shoot your shot.
Shoot your shot. So those are just like signs if they might like you. And this is our tips and tricks and ways to connect with them.
I got 5. How many you got?
I got 4.
Okay.
But I want to say it's okay for the girl to make a first move.
Oh, absolutely.
I feel like this day and age, it's totally normal. And honestly, it's a give and take thing, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And sometimes guys are very nervous and they are scared to make the first move, so it's okay if you make it.
Absolutely, no, completely. So, it's completely acceptable, 100%. You want me to start it off?
Yeah, because you got an extra one on me.
This sounds really simple and plain, but it seems like no one does it. Send them a text. Start a casual conversation. Get a conversation going.
What if you don't have their number? So say you already have their number.
Fair enough. Yes. If you already have their number, this is how to shoot your shot. So this is a little bit of a preface, I guess. So I should have flipped this around and put that at number 5, I suppose. But yeah. Okay. We'll come back to that. We'll circle around. Go ahead.
No, you gotta start. You have an extra one.
Okay. So again, simple thing, but you have to have the confidence to do it. Go up to them and ask them a question if you're in class about homework, if you're in work about a project that the team's working on. It doesn't matter. Like, you just have to make that first move. You have to make the move and start the conversation. The conversation can lead to everything. I kind of
wanted to say this when I was talking about they compliment you.
Yeah.
A great way as a girl, I didn't put this in my 4, so I guess I have 5.
Okay.
Is to go up to a guy, and guys love to be complimented. And this is a great way to start a conversation with anyone. I do it with people that I'm not even interested in. It's just a great way to start a conversation. Hey, I really love your shoes.
Oh.
And then you go... Like, it's kind of like a girly question because you're asking, like, where they got them and stuff. But it leads to the conversation. So when you give someone a compliment, give them a genuine compliment. It's unique to them, but then you have to follow up with a question. So you're going to say, I really like your shoes. Where'd you get them? Or, I really like your shoes. Why'd you pick that color? It engages them into a conversation. And then you don't want to do it every time because you want to make sure they're participating in the conversation. But if you're going up first, ask a question and give them a compliment.
It's that pair.
It's that the pair.
Lethal pair.
It works.
It works. Tested.
It's tested. Not recently.
No.
No.
I kind of went on a similar route as you for my number 3. Pay them a compliment.
Right.
So you just gotta if you hit that 1-2 punch with the compliment, the question,
it starts a conversation.
It always starts a conversation.
And then usually, like, if I would do that.
Yeah.
I'm not single anymore. So like if you do the compliment and then ask a question, wait a while. Don't be like, oh, I like your shoes, and then they say like, oh yeah, I got them. Hold the conversation for like 2 to 5 minutes before you ask for a number. Try to see if they offer it first.
Okay.
So it's kind of like I don't want to say you didn't ask for it, but it gives them an opportunity. You can kind of
test the waters more if they're actually really interested.
Exactly. So then my second one is to get their Instagram, but make sure you get it from them because it's creepy if you just like say you meet a guy and you find out his name and find him on Instagram and he didn't tell you his Instagram handle. It's creepy. It's weird.
Say vice versa for guys with girls.
Exactly. And then shoot them a DM.
DM, slide in.
It sounds very basic.
Very
and
cliche.
Kind of like, is it really going to work?
It'll work.
But again, the answer is always no unless you try.
You gotta shoot your shot.
So, there's this cute pickup line that I had, but I can't remember it.
You've teased it multiple times, and I don't know if you've ever actually told me it.
I think I did tell you about it one time. I saw it on a YouTube channel. I don't know why I was watching the YouTube channel, but I was watching it nonetheless. And I think it came on like my recommendation, and I thought it was interesting. Basically, you say like, I have so many so you say I have, and then you insert your phone number.
Okay.
And then you say reasons why you should text me with a little like winky face, smiley face.
I like
and
it.
it makes sense because it's your phone number. But you're in the DM, so it's like, will he take the extra step to DM you?
Ooh, I like it.
But again, when you slide into a DMs, don't just say hi.
No, you have to ask a question. You have to start a conversation.
You have to start the conversation if you're the first one sliding into the
absolutely.
DM.
You have to start a conversation.
Okay, let's hear it.
Get into a group with them. It could be a study buddy group. It can be anything. If they're just having a casual conversation with a big group and some people in that group, step in. Just find a way into the conversation and then involve them in the conversation. Ask them questions, talk to them, center it on them.
I think that's huge.
Yeah.
Okay. My next one is to ask to keep a Snapchat streak with them.
The streak method.
It works like a charm because it's not creepy because everyone's on Snapchat. That's like a really big form of communication in college because no one likes giving out their number. It's creepy.
Absolutely.
It's too personal where Snapchat's kind of like, oh, if I don't talk to you, it's fine. You're just a Snapchat friend.
Exactly.
And then if you ask to keep a streak with them, a lot of times guys don't keep streaks. So if they're interested, they'll say, they'll be like, I usually don't keep streaks, but I'll keep a streak for you.
Exactly, because if you get the I don't keep streaks, they're not interested. It's an immediate boom. Nope.
It's a no. But if they make the exception, they like you. But then also it's nice too because it's nothing serious, but you have that constant communication with them.
You're always there.
So you can send a streak to each other for like a week and then be like, slide up and be like, hey, I'm doing this tonight. You want to tag along?
There you go.
And it's that easy. It just takes a while because you have to build the streak.
Yeah, you have to build the streak a little bit and then it's just
But it's a very casual way instead of being forward and
Yeah.
saying you want a number. But again, you'll know right away if they keep the streak or not.
Completely.
And then also depends on what they send in their streak pictures.
Okay.
So
Nice.
if it's just the S and a black screen, it's a little iffy. But if they send selfies,
They send
even
pictures.
if it's just like an eyes up kind of thing, no.
And my number 5 was become study buddies. I said that kind of in the last one,
Okay.
but it's more of a personal connection,
Right, like
just
instead of a group, it's just you two.
If you're in school, walk up to someone and be like, hey, do you know what the homework is for this week? And then when they say yes, it's this and this, like, oh, cool, you want to work on it together? Then get their Snapchat, and
Bada
boom,
bing.
there you go. You have a connection to talk to each
that.
other.
So I guess I am slow. I have 2 more left.
I think it's because I got to loop back to my number 1.
Okay,
my number 1 was the text.
So my next one is to ask for their number for homework help. So you kind of talked about that.
Yeah.
But again, I've done this and it works.
That's low-key how we kind of connected, but it wasn't help with homework. It was talking about a project.
Yeah. So you go up to someone and you're like, I really don't understand what we're doing. Or like you can understand and just be like, can I use you as a reference? Do you want to exchange numbers so we can talk about it? It works. It helps.
It absolutely works.
And then you kind of can pick up if they like you or not based on if you talk more about school or if the conversation kind of slides into something else.
No, you're completely right.
And then my last one is to ask if they want to go somewhere together and wait for them to give their number. So if you're talking face to face, be like, I really want to go check this out. Would you be interested in coming along?
Okay.
And then they might say like, yeah. And then they'll be like, and then you kind of set it up, and then more than likely they'll be like, great, can I get your number so we can talk about it later?
Okay.
So kind of linger and keep the conversation going without giving you your number first.
Okay.
I think it's part of like the chase.
Yeah, you gotta play the game.
You have to play the game, which isn't fun, but it helps.
But it helps a lot. And then obviously, I already said my number 1. Send them a text. If you have their number, send them a text. Just start a conversation.
Exactly.
Ask a question.
You might already be in a friend group with this person.
Exactly.
And you might already have their number. Or I know like back in like junior high school times, you kind of already have everyone's number from sports or some sort of way. You have their number, they have your number. So just slide in, send them a text.
Slide in.
Okay.
The DMs are huge.
So how to keep the conversation going?
One of the most difficult parts about getting into a relationship.
It really is, because there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
How many do you have?
I have 3.
Okay, I have 3 too.
Okay, cool. Start it off.
Okay, so I'm a huge believer in all the conversations should not be held in text.
No, definitely not.
If you have their number, texting should only be used for setting up a date, and that is it.
Okay.
And a thank you text after, until you're dating.
Ooh.
Because if you tell and talk to this person constantly, it's going to take away the want to see you in real life, because
There's
it
not gonna
already
be a
feels like
connection
they're
there.
talking to you.
Exactly.
So that's one of my biggest things is wait up to talk to them.
Did you play that game with me?
I guess kind of.
We rolled so quickly into a date, we didn't have time to do that.
Yeah. But basically, like, if someone were to text me, I'd be like, let's do this. And I wouldn't text until the day. I would be like, are we still on for tonight?
Exactly.
And then have the date. And then after the date, I would send, I had so much fun on our date tonight.
Yeah.
And then wait for them to say, do you want to go out again?
Okay, nice.
So
I
again,
like
it's a little bit of a waiting game, but I don't like
Gotta play
having
the game.
the conversation in text, because it takes away things that you can talk about on your date.
No, you're
and
completely
it
right.
leaves the mystery of who you are and what you are going to talk about with this person.
Yeah.
It's just gone,
It's
because
just
you've already talked about it. And it kind of gives them, granted, you might only have one date and they'll decide if they don't like you or they will like you. But if you text them so much, they already have reasons why they might not want to go out with you.
No, you're completely right. My number 1 was always be, and this is when you're talking to them, whether it be on a date or when you're just interested.
Okay.
Always be on the lookout for something to talk about, because people love talking about themselves, but they also love talking about other things in the environment.
Huge one is when you're on a date or talking to someone or keeping a conversation, ask them questions. Don't talk about yourself the whole time.
No, do not.
Eventually they'll ask you questions too, so you'll get to talk about yourself. But if you only talk about yourself, it's probably not going to go well.
People low-key love to talk about themselves, so the more questions you ask them, the better. That was my number 3.
Yeah, and they're going to feel more connected to you, because they're like, they want to hear about me.
Exactly.
It plays into, like, that
Play the
psyche and
game.
stuff. Okay, do you have one, or should I go?
I just went Sochi.
Okay. I said the same thing twice. I only have 3. Basically, all mine were like the same. So I had wait to meet up for the date to share more.
Okay.
And then texting should mainly be used for setting updates, which I already kind of said.
Yeah.
And then also ask about things that could be future date related.
Find their interest and do them.
So, like, do you like watching soccer? There's a soccer game, even though it's kind of hard with COVID. But, like, I saw this really cool art museum advertisement. Would you be interested?
Boom. There you go. You have a date.
Another thing, too, when you're starting to talk to someone to keep the conversation going, or, like, if you need a reason to text them, be like, I heard this song on Spotify, check it out, you might like it, and send them the link. I use that on you a lot. But it's a way to connect you, see if you have similar music interests, but it also creates a conversation.
And it's meaningful, because, like, I thought of you.
Exactly.
Like, it shows that you
People
care.
love that. So, like, if you're watching a movie, be like, I thought of you when I watched this movie. So funny, check it out.
Absolutely. There you go. Boom.
Yeah.
So obviously we already talked about questions. That was my number 3. But my number 2, and this is a little more unorthodox one, embrace awkward silences. I know we're trying to keep a conversation going here.
So is this on dates?
Yes. So dates or just talking to them casually.
Okay.
Because you can really kind of test the waters to see if they're really interested, because if you embrace the awkward silences, you can force them to fill that conversation, if that makes any sense.
Didn't you say you did this to me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I did. You force them to fill the conversation, and if they come back with a question, if you ask them a question, they give you a blank answer and don't ask back, and it goes quiet, let it go for a minute before you start talking again. See if they fill it and keep the conversation rolling.
Ooh, our thing, we're going to have to reset it.
Yeah,
Can
that's
you hit
cool.
the red button?
Yes, I can.
Redo it? But going on what you said about that, when you're texting someone and the conversation just dries up, or, okay, doesn't dry up yet. So the conversation's going, and you want to see if they're truly interested in you, and you're probably playing the question game back and forth. Like, you'll say something, then ask a question, so you'll be like, I'm doing this today, what are you up to?
Yeah.
If you want to see if they're truly interested in you, and this is one of my high school friends taught me this before I ever started dating, and she was like, sometimes you have to just not ask a question and have a very simple text. So you answer their question, you're very nice, but you don't ask them anything in return. Do they keep the conversation going?
Ooh, I like that one. You told me about that one before. I
and
like that one.
And it really, like, kind of gauges how interested. Are they going to follow back with a question? Is the conversation going to end? Will they double text you? It's all those things.
It's another way to test the waters to see if they like you or not. But yeah, so you got to embrace those awkward silences.
Yes. So do you have any more for keep the conversation going?
Nope, that was it for me.
So those are our big tips. I feel like we could do so many more episodes on this because there's so much more to say on it.
We could break every one of those into an individual episode.
Definitely. So if that's something you guys would want to see, let us know. But now we're going to be sharing what to do if you or they are not interested.
You want to start with they?
Yeah. So if they are not interested, my biggest tip is to not drag it out and keep asking them out. So it's hard. You can be blinded. You're like, this guy's so cute. I just really want him to like me.
Yeah.
Sometimes rip the band-aid off. They don't like you. It's hard, but there's other people, and I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason. So even if they aren't interested, something better is going to come along.
Absolutely.
But at one point, you have to keep moving forward. You can't keep
there are more fish in the sea.
Exactly. You can't just keep saying, I really want to go out with him, and you just keep saying no. If someone says no more than 3 times in a row, I say, no.
Completely
Don't
agree.
waste your time.
Don't waste your time. So if they're not interested, I guess I went more to how to tell as opposed to what to do for the first one. But you'll notice them distancing from you. And I think if that happens, you need to distance yourself as well.
Definitely.
If they are starting to let go, you need to let go too.
It's that equal give and take. Only given as much as they give you.
Yeah.
Move on.
Move on. That was my number 2 as well.
And
Move
then
on.
my third one is to focus on yourself.
Oh, I like that one.
I think, and I can say this with a lot of my friends, I can even say it for myself. When you're focusing on finding someone to date, more than likely you're not going to succeed. But when you're focusing on yourself, not looking for a boyfriend or girlfriend,
you'll find it.
You'll find a boyfriend or a girlfriend. And it's weird how it works that way, but I've noticed that with my friends. I've noticed it with myself.
It happens all the time.
And it's my biggest thing with it. So when you're focusing on other things, not looking for a companion, that's when you're going to find it.
Yep. Completely agree. That was my 2.
Okay.
So,
what's your 3? Oh, you only did 2?
I only had 2. I thought we were doing 2 each.
I did 3. Okay. So then what to do if you're not interested?
Yes.
Again, like the disclaimer, always be kind. They're shooting their shot. They're putting their little heart out like,
they're going
I'm
for
interested in you. Are you interested in me? Shoot them down nicely.
Let them down
Say,
easily.
like, I'm so flattered. I just am not looking to date anyone right now.
Exactly.
Let them down easy.
Let them down easy. So I said the same thing. Just be honest. It might hurt a little bit for them, but you just gotta let them go, you know?
Yeah. And then my second one is to politely say no. Granted, this can get hard if people keep asking and they don't do that after 3, call it quits. If they keep asking, then you're just going to have to be firm and say, I'm not interested. I'm really sorry, but no, I'm not. I'm just not interested. And say no multiple times so it's very clear.
Exactly. You just got to repeat that. And then I said the alternate option, again, not as nice, but sometimes it has to happen. And I think we might end up doing a full episode on this, on how to do it, is to ghost.
Oh my gosh, ghosting's huge, but it works.
It does work.
Harsh,
it's very
but
effective.
It works. Yeah. I like that one. And my last one is to, and this one it depends on the situation, is to go on a date with them, even if you know you're not interested, and drop the friend card as much as you can. Make it clear you're not interested or bring your friend along with you.
Oh, bring the friend along? That one.
It works. Some people just don't get the hint until you're face to face with them.
Sometimes you just got to do it the hard way, you know?
Again,
get your hands dirty. There goes the camera.
Know. Oh, goodness. All right, you guys, our camera battery did die,
it
so
did.
we're re-recording this. If you have watched any of our, I guess, listened to any of our podcasts on platforms for podcasts, it's a little bit different here, but we're working with it. This is just a really long episode, but that is all our tips and tricks with shooting your shot. If you guys want to see another video like this, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, and we will make more since you guys are on YouTube. And if you haven't already, definitely hit the subscribe button.
And notification bell. Every Monday, 6 a.m. podcast drops.
I get the little notification every Monday morning, like, oh, we're doing it. So, again, that wraps up our episode. If you guys have any questions or anything that you want to ask us, slide into our DMs on Instagram, which is callyalater podcast. We're over there. We're on Twitter at callyalater pod.
#tweet you later.
You got it. And you can also ask us questions in the comments down below.
Leave us a review. We'll read it.
Oh my gosh, we'd love that.
Yes.
And then also just a huge shout out to watching the video, subscribing, listening, following us along. We really appreciate it. Next week is already our 30th episode.
Number 30.
Crazy. We're going to be sharing a updated life update.
Back in school, working out, doing everything.
Vlogmas, our fitness routines, everything. Just what we've been up to.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. That's the running joke. I always can't say episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for watching. And we'll see you guys very soon.
Call you later.
Bye.